Hello, welcome back. I'm Statman Dave. Today we're going to be answering the question, does Luis Enrique to Manchester United make sense? If you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button. Of course, check out SofaScore, link in the description below where we do all of our stats analysis. Anyway, let's get this party started. So Manchester United have reportedly spoken to a number of managers to take over at Manchester United. I'm talking Erik ten Hag, Mauricio Pochettino and Luis Enrique being the top three. According to the Mirror, Luis Enrique has many admirers at Old Trafford as Spain boss emerges as manager target. And I think the interesting side with Manchester United and looking into this story in this situation is, does it make sense? So the question we're going to go through today is, does Luis Enrique to United make sense? Luis Enrique, of course, is a manager of fine experience. And I think one of the big things with the next manager for Manchester United, it's all about the style, but also there needs to be a decent CV in there as well. Luis Enrique, of course, former Real Madrid and Barcelona player, played in midfield and up front, was absolutely banging on Championship Manager 2001-2002, one of my top central midfielders. But from a managerial coaching perspective, managed Barcelona B, Roma, Celta, then won the treble with Barcelona with a front three of Neymar, Messi and Suarez, and now taken on the job as Spain manager after a bit of a break in football. I think, the Barcelona environment is quite intense, and Enrique to kind of go from that point of, managing that squad of Neymar, of Messi, of massive egos, to then taking a break, to then going into Spain, I think is the perfect kind of journey. But, when we're looking at the sides that he's had and that he's built, I think that Barcelona side, is a big one to kind of talk about. Their ability to attack, but to counter-attack was absolutely sublime. And I think that's something that I'd look at Luis Enrique and that kind of ability to get multiple stars into the team, get some of the stars to defend in a 4-4-2 shape, out of possession with Neymar dropping to that left wing and Rakitic shuttling out, allowing Messi to sit a little bit higher and get on the ball in those, advanced areas as he did that season. Barcelona, of course, going on to win the final, the 4-3-3, with a bit of an advanced playmaker on the right-hand side, with Rakitic playing as a shuttling midfielder, works supremely well. And I think for, in terms of the tactic style, does it make sense in terms of the flexibility? Yes, I think, fitting in different superstars within a shape and a system is something that I find very, very interesting. If we look at the average positions of that Barcelona team, we could see how wide Rakitic is. You can kind of half see that defensive shape with Messi and Suarez really high together, narrow, and Rakitic moving over to kind of shuttle out to that right wing, allowing the likes of Dani Alves to push forward and to advance up there. That is one team that he's built. A team that's got a number of different really positive parts about it, playing out from the back, dominating possession, but also been able to sit in a deep block. Moving on to his Spain team. Obviously, Spain, for me, were one of the best tactical teams at the recent European Championships. Unfortunate to lose to Spain. So important. Unfortunate to lose to Italy on penalties. But I think Luis Enrique's Spanish team, again, was very interchangeable in this game against Italy. He did go for a false nine, and Dani Olmo looked to dominate the midfield, looked to get behind Italy's midfield, and it worked really well. We can see the positioning of not only Dani Olmo, but Pedri very much behind the offensive line, or behind the midfield line of Italy, which really helped them play through and build. I like that about that. That's one style that he had with Spain. But if you look through, let's say, the rest of the tournament, the game against Croatia, more of a 4-3-3 with Morata very much that deep line forward to play into his feet and to build off, obviously, a lot of interchange between the two wingers, hence why they're both quite narrow, but very much another 4-3-3 shape. But again, using maybe Cesar Azpilicueta a little bit more inside as an inverted position, using the left back or the left, as more of a wing back in there. A combination of different players up front as well. I like the style. A lot of play with the number 8s as well. Pedri, of course, had a fantastic tournament showing Enrique's ability to coach young players and get the best out of young players. That makes a lot of sense for Manchester United. When you combine that with his good tactical setups, it's kind of an exciting side to it there. I think one of the big things with Manchester United is their inability at times to play out from the back. That is a big concern. And the next manager coming in needs to do that. Of course, Luis Enrique's Spain and Barcelona have both done that. His Spain team was more of a 4-3-3 shape, and as we kind of mentioned, a little bit more of a inverted right back, wide player, and more of a left back that's going to get into the final third. Again, something Manchester United could very much do with Diogo Dalot joining midfield, Alex Telles providing that link in the final third, but having that ability to play out the back. One player that may be moved on or not fit the style might be David De Gea in a sense. David De Gea was dropped by Luis Enrique for Spain for Unai Simon, who's a better ball player, and that would allow United to play out from the back. We can't ignore the struggles with that facet of the game for Manchester United, and that 4-3-3 playing out from the back with a ball playing goalkeeper would massively improve. I think in terms of the setup of the attacking unit, a false nine could be used in that sense, with, let's say, maybe Bruno Fernandes a little bit higher, playing in that advanced area. Off the line, we could see that Dani Olmo setup that we saw against Italy. A number 9 would definitely be needed if Luis Enrique was to take charge as manager. A number 9 that would come off the line and receive like Morata does. For all the disrespect Morata gets in front of goal, which I understand, his interplay and his build-up is very, very good. I think looking at the team as well for Enrique to come in, maybe bringing in a number 6 at defensive midfield. Maybe? No, let's rephrase that. Bringing in a number 6 is absolutely crucial for Manchester United if Luis Enrique comes in. I think there's a number of good options on the market. I'd say 2 central midfielders, but definitely 1 DM to sit in front of the defence. I think there's a few good options around Europe that could fulfill this kind of role. Obviously, looking at players that contracts maybe expire soon, so you can get them on a reduced fee, which could be a really good option. Looking at someone like Boubacar Kamara, obviously a free agent in the summer, could come in and do a simple job for Manchester United. In terms of his, the best things of his game, in terms of his passing, very good, would fit absolutely down to a T into Luis Enrique's Manchester United. His pressing numbers are also very good. His successful pressures, 37% of the time, which is in the top 3% of players in Europe. A lot of touches as well, high percentile there. A lot of carries as well for his position. Receives a lot of passes, exactly what you want in a pivot for Luis Enrique. Other players that Man United could look at, obviously Fabian Ruiz, his contract expires in 2023. Another player that excels on the ball when it comes to moving it around, passes into the final third, the amount of touches that he has for Napoli, I think could also be another fantastic signing, Fabian Ruiz. And then finally, obviously, Tchouaméni, someone that's been spoke about a lot, more of a ball winner, less of a passer. So I'd say in terms of Luis Enrique's Manchester United, I'd say either Kamara or Fabian Ruiz would suit better. And I think the big thing with someone like a Fabian Ruiz, obviously he's worked with Enrique at Spain, which I think is, obviously a really positive thing. But I do think he's a player that would be suited to the Premier League in a sort of stylistic way, similar body shape to Rodri, coming into the prime of his career. A player that does get on the ball, 101 touches versus Lazio, 91% pass accuracy, 1 key pass, 2 out of his 3 long passes completed, 2 interceptions, 2 tackles. He's a player that will anchor a midfield, and I feel United needs someone like that if they're going to go and get Luis Enrique for it to make sense in the side. So going back to our initial point, how this would make sense for Manchester United. I think one of the concerns, does Luis Enrique make sense to United? One of the concerns, or one of the maybe no's to that question is, when does he start? Obviously, as Spain manager, the World Cup is in December, so it would mean that Manchester United would have to wait till after the World Cup to get his full attention. Maybe he could take the Manchester United job on for the start of the season, then go away with Spain and then come back. But that, for me, sounds a little bit fractured. United would have to have a caretaker for another 6 months. That'd be another 6 months of maybe a Ralph Rangnick in there, maybe another manager for 6 months. I just don't think it adds up. I think Luis Enrique would be a brilliant manager for Manchester United. I think the style's perfect. I think how they play is perfect. The possession-based vertical tiki-taka is great. You're looking at Enrique's time at Barcelona. He won 9 trophies in 3 years, 3 Spanish Cups, 2 La Ligas, 1 Spanish Super Cup, a Champions League, a UEFA Super Cup, and a Club World Cup. His experience with Spain as well, his managerial side has been absolutely fantastic, but I just don't think United can lose another 6 months of development of this team right now. And that, for me, would be a massive concern with getting Luis Enrique as manager. So I don't think Luis Enrique to United makes sense. Thanks for watching, guys. Get into the comments below. Would you take Luis Enrique as Manchester United manager if he stays with Spain until after the World Cup? I've been Statman Dave. Subscribe if you're new. See you later.